Welcome to the journey of a future educator. My name is Justine Griffith, and this presentation is for my UF 300 class. Next slide, please. Elementary in the 21st century. What does it take to be a teacher these days? And what are the challenges? What are the benefits of being an educator? And an endorsement in literacy, what is that? And why is teaching so important to me? Next slide. If you are here only for a degree in education, get out. We already have mediocre teachers. This was actually told to a group of students, including myself, when registering for classes at Boise State University by a professor of special education who was helping us. How true is this, though? We already have enough of mediocre teachers. We needed to get above and beyond the regular, the norm. So I thought this was very appropriate. Next slide. Do you believe one of these? For this class, we had to come up with our own personal meme. And for me, as a future educator, I came up with one as a teacher. So for the first one, what my friends think I do. My friends probably think I'll be catching a little sun in the summer, probably with a laptop on the beach. My mom, being an educator herself, understands the stress and the toil a teacher goes through and completely understands what I want to do. I'm going to be in front of 20 plus students, teaching, helping, and guiding them through their life. The next one is what society thinks I do. They think I get summers off. I cannot explain how many times I have heard the comment that I get summers off, so I must have an easy job. Or I'm just teaching little kids, so how hard is that? Educators actually have to continue their education so that they can keep up with technology and new teaching strategies. And in Idaho, every 5 years, you must take a minimum of 6 credits to keep up your credentials. And then, of course, what the kids think I do. They probably think that I'm going to be really mean and really scary and really kind of creepy. That picture is kind of scary. But strict and creepy and mean isn't the exact same thing. The next slide is School of Rock. Hello. Of course I want to be Jack Black in School of Rock. He made education in reading and writing and simple music so much more fun. But let's be honest, what I'm really going to do is stress out about how I'm going to get my test scores up for the state of Idaho. Let's be honest, people. Test scores are everything. Next slide. Education is? Education is the act or process of imparting or acquiring general knowledge, developing the powers of reasoning and judgment, and generally of preparing oneself or others intellectually for mature life. This is a direct quote from the dictionary. And how important is that? We are actually preparing oneself and others for intellectual life. It is a huge, huge responsibility. And a teacher must be ready to listen, not only to our students, but to the parents, faculty, and her boss, the principal, and the state, and the whole United States. A teacher must be flexible, because working with kids will not be so straightforward. You have to play off of how the kids are reacting sometimes and adjusting your teaching style or emphasize what they're not understanding. You must be patient working with kids. They are the reason that you have a job, so listen up and truly take time to understand the students. Working well with others is also a big deal, especially when becoming a teacher. You must work with your peers to keep all your students on the same page. You know, creativity is also really huge. While using different things, you're going to have to be creative to make boring things so much more fun. Next slide. A teacher affects eternity and can never tell where the influence stops. I just thought this was a very appropriate quote as well. You never know the negative or the positives a teacher will have, and you never know where that influence may stop. I know I've had some pretty not great teachers who should have retired. You know who I'm talking about, those little old ones who are kind of mean. Yeah, you have those. And their influence never stops. So I think it's important to remember how much of an impact we're actually having on the students. Education in Idaho. Idaho's average starting teaching salary is $27,500. Not a whole lot. However, I'd rather have a job right now more than anything, so I'll take it. And then also, Idaho elementary education median salary is $31,144. And that, sadly, in comparison to the national, is a lot lower, about $20,000 lower. But for me, being in Idaho, it's not just a place of comfort, a place of home, but these are kids who actually need it. There's so many rural communities who don't get good educators, so I think it's important to stay close to home. Nationally, about 1.6 million teaching jobs are actually available or being used. But that's a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities for you. And with so many people stopping and retiring so early, it's about time. Idaho teachers gradually receive a 33% salary increase over 10 years. You know, it is a gradual increase, but at least it's an increase. So you're not always going to be stuck at that salary of $27,500. It's going to keep increasing. And teaching is expected to increase by 32.5% by 2014. So there is hope for us all. How to become a highly qualified teacher is the next slide. You have to get a certificate in a high demand subject area. That means literacy, math, science, special education, other programs such as those. And you have to get at least a bachelor's degree in education. You must pass the Praxis 1 and 2. Here at Boise State, Praxis 1 you have to pass before you can actually get into the elementary education program. And the Praxis 2 is the test that you have to take before you actually get your degree in education. This quote is by Christine Shields, who is my literacy professor here on campus. And she says, have a solid knowledge base of academic content, best practices, classroom management, ease of effective communicating with students, parents, administrators, and other teachers. And she believes that was a huge thing on how to become a highly qualified teacher. And you must be able to collaborate with fellow educators. As a future educator, I'm not going to have all of the answers or all of this or all of anything. So I know I'm going to have to rely on those around me to help me keep going. Next slide. The benefits of teaching. Well, let's explain. You get to help nurture the foundation of their lives, of these students' lives. These children are so moldable. Always a need for education, so there is some job security in it. You get to be around young hearts. You know, in college, I've definitely learned that you forget what it's like to be a kid sometimes, and you get stuck with paying bills and getting to class on time, or maybe going out for the occasional drink. But it's always important to keep yourself young and to remember how innocent they truly are. Another benefit of teaching, you are always learning new and old tricks. Whether you've learned them or you haven't learned them, you are always learning regardless. The education system is constantly changing. There is always need for improvement, and with this, I feel like you can, again and again and again. And you can take teaching anywhere. I can go travel abroad, go teach in China, Indonesia. I can go to London, I can go wherever, as long as I have the drive to do so. And in Idaho, there are 588 low-income schools. Sounds like bad. However, if you have a Teach grant, that is money given to you specifically for the years that you were in college in pursuing your teacher education. And what you have to do is for how many years that you're actually getting your education in teaching, you have to teach for that many years in a low-income school. Well, luckily for us Idahoans, I guess, you can go to almost any elementary school in the state of Idaho, and that is considered low income. And so you can easily find a school that you would like to participate in or who have the same teaching ideas and strategies. And opportunity for growth with more than 30 high-need areas. There's always an area where they need people, whether it's in literacy, which is my endorsement and I'm going to explain later, or in reading, writing, arithmetic, science, special education, physical education. We need the help in all the ways we can get it. Slide 9. The challenges teachers face. The starting pay is a huge deterrent. I understand this. It's kind of not that great. And with 24 students per teacher, that's a lot of children at different stages, at different times, and you have to be able to be around all of them at one time. There's always insufficient funds for class materials. This year alone, a teacher that I've been working closely with has had to spend $400 out of her own pocket just to get materials for her classroom. It's kind of sad, but that's where we're at. Another thing is after school, you have papers to grade, conferences, teachers' meetings, and a lifetime of class taking. When class ends for your students, it just begins for you. And like I said before, with the 24 students per teacher, children are at different learning styles and stages throughout the entire time that they are with you. So you have to be very flexible and ready to help. And you're not just a teacher. You're a nurse, a parental counselor, social worker, secretary, a copy machine mechanic, and practically a parent to all of the students. Next slide. Endorsement in literacy, what is that? An endorsement is the term used to refer to the content area or specific area of expertise in which a certificate holder is granted permission to provide services. Literacy is a high demand field that requires in-depth knowledge of a child's development of language in writing, reading, and comprehension of text, along with basic word attack skills. Now, word attack skills are like decoding how to break apart a word into letter sounds, encoding, which is able to spell the word, and using what you know around you or what you already know to actually make the word. And so these are all huge skills that are needed so that students can read and comprehend what they have read. My job is to instill a joy of literacy and an awareness of multiple literacies in the world. That was also a quote by Christine Shields, my literacy professor, and I have to wholeheartedly agree with her. And next slide, why I want to teach. I can take the education system, my professional experience around the world. I totally have the travel bug. So whenever I want to pick up and go, which probably won't be too often, but I can take my degree around the world and help others learn just as much. Another thing is I love to teach and explain a subject I'm interested in. I'm definitely not in it for the money, but I do love to come alongside of others who might not understand a subject or understand a certain thing that we are learning. So I really like to break it down for them. The next one is I know what to expect. My mom is a teacher. I remember sitting and helping my mom grade papers, learning all sorts of fun little things, and I really understand how much time is really needed. And I'm ready to actually, how do I say this? Donate my life to science or maybe to teaching. Also, I have a passion for children and I want to help develop them into amazing citizens and community leaders. This is huge to me. I do love to be around children. It might sound a little creepy, but they help you learn so much more than you help them learn. And I think that's a great, great thing. And I love to see when a child has a light bulb moment. They actually understand, they have that moment, and you can see it in their eyes where it clicks. It automatically works for them. And I love new things. I love learning new things. This quote by Albert Einstein just hits it right on the head. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. Well, I am one of those people who is constantly curious about how things work, how to make things better, and how to constantly make teaching what I want to be doing, and hopefully I've convinced you to be a teacher as well. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or the professor who's showing this video.